Good afternoon, Austin. I'm EJ. Welcome to Health South.
Nice to meet you. So a copy of my resume here for you. Just want to say it's a great facility. I'm very excited and happy to be here.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in a small town in Connecticut. I was very active, played a lot of sports, baseball, hockey mainly, and through those sports came across injuries. So I encountered many physical therapists throughout those years and was attracted to the fact, the caring and warm environment that I always felt when I walked into the PT clinic that I went to. So that kind of inspired me to pursue the physical therapy degree at the college. And I graduated with, after 4 years, I graduated with a bachelor's in clinical health studies as well as a minor in health policy and management. And then 2 years later, graduated with the DPT. So through that experience, I am here to start to pursue my physical therapy career.
Good. So what makes you interested in this position in particular?
During some of my clinical experiences, I've come across a few patients which require neuro rehab, and I noticed that you guys have a program in both stroke rehab and traumatic brain injury rehab. So during one of these experiences, I came across a patient suffering from MS who it really amazed me over this. The clinic was only 8 weeks long, but from the beginning, from the first week to the 8th week, the amount of strides that we were able to make and the difference we were able to make in his life was something that really drove me to pursue the stroke rehab field. And then looking at your guys' program, plus your attitude, I noticed your attitude to technology. It seems like you're really on the cutting edge as far as that goes. Really attracted me to this position.
So I know you said you had a little bit of experience working with patients with MS. What are other strengths that you have?
I think I hold myself accountable to any job that I do, so I don't feel comfortable unless it's done to the best of my ability, which transfers well into the quality of care I can provide to patients, because I'm always willing to put that extra time in, cover patients if a therapist needs it. So I feel like my accountability to myself really translates well into providing that high quality of care that patients deserve.
Good. And any weaknesses?
I find myself, one weakness that I have, I find myself often second guessing my gut decision, which I look back on and wish I didn't. So I feel like through gaining knowledge, experience, and seeing that my gut decision, my initial reaction, is often the right one or an effective one, will prove that I don't need to do that.
Hopefully you keep getting that here. So where do you see yourself in around 5 years from now?
Well, hopefully working here. I want to get into a place where I can establish a long-term relationship with both the staff, the patients, and the surrounding community. As well as I'd love to pursue my stroke rehab specialty certification to be able to bring that knowledge to the patients that I'm serving.
Good. And can you tell me about any time in particular that you dealt with a challenging situation with either a patient or staff member, and what did you do to overcome that challenge?
So I had one patient which was working with a therapist who ended up going on maternity leave. And so she was turned over to me, so I saw her twice a week. And she was very close with the therapist who had left, and had a good relationship, a routine that they went through every day, and she was very attached to that routine. So when I came in and tried to impart my treatments and my techniques to her treatment plan, she was very resistant at first because it wasn't what she was used to. So over the course of the few weeks, it took me really explaining my rationale, slowly implementing new things, and being respectful of the fact that she liked her routine, so also giving her some of the comforts that the previous therapist brought. And it ended up being a really rewarding experience because I worked with her throughout this week. She started to trust me, started to believe in what I was doing, and I was able to really create this connection with her that I didn't see happening at first.
Good. So I know you already mentioned that you worked with a variety of patients, but is there any specific type or group of patients that you would like to work with?
Like I said, the stroke rehab really is attractive to me, that population, because it's just often those diagnoses can be such a life-altering, life-changing time for those individuals. So to be able to take them in and take care of them and be able to see those advances and give them part of their basic life activities back, I think is what really attracts me to that population. So those are the patients that I really like to work with.
Sounds good. So before we end this interview, do you have any questions that you have for me?
I guess, do you have any continuing ed programs available for your employees that work here?
Yeah, well, we offer a few because we do want our physical therapists to keep educated and keep learning, basically. So we did, like you mentioned before, stroke rehab. We do have a stroke recovery program that we have a lot of our therapists in our center actively participating in. We have vestibular rehabilitation and something more specifically geriatric rehabilitation. So, and what the last program is basically keeping updated procedures of plans of care that you can have with the geriatric population, which is, for our group, patients that we try to focus on. Any other questions?
Do you have any community outreach programs where you go into the community and provide services?
We do also offer a lot of community outreach programs. One or a few coming to mind is the amputee support group, which is the first Saturday of every month, and we have either different therapists, different speakers, just basically try to create a community where they bring a lot of people together dealing with any of these conditions or issues, to give them space to talk, give them space to sort of move on from where any conditions or issues that they're dealing with. And we also have one more, the brain injury and young stroke support group, and that meets on the last Thursday of every month. And same concept of having either therapists or speakers, just try to foster an environment where you could have that discussion, you could have that dialogue for issues and conditions that are not really talked about too often.
That's great.
So thank you for coming.
Thank you. Would I be able to grab business card on the way out?
Oh yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.